Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. For all you guitar geeks out there, for all you shredder guitar player fans and just obscure guitar player fans, we're gonna do an Allan Holdsworth song today. And this man is a man among legends, heavy inspiration for guitar players like Eddie Van Halen and Steve Vai and others. This particular song, "Devil Take the Hindmost," was first played for me by a man named Dan Stearns, who is a grossly underrated guitar player. You would never have heard of him unless you read a couple of readers' polls on Guitar Player magazine back in the late 80s, early 90s. Anyway, he played this for me one day in his car while I think we were delivering newspapers. And it's just one of those guitar solos that he said recently in a post that I read, never ever has a guitar player watched Allan Holdsworth and then thought, I can do it better, hold my beer. It's never happened. Many a guitar legend have acquiesced to Allan Holdsworth's utter brilliance as a guitar player and a musician and a technician. With that said, be prepared to have your mind blown. lot of chords in there that most guitar players would never touch. Um, Amazingly enough, um, if you think a guitar player like Eric Johnson is the king of the obscure chord, you really need to look at what Holdsworth would do. Part of the reason I stepped away from the camera for a minute was I went to see if I could find somewhere around here. I have Allan Holdsworth's book, and it's a guitar technique book, and I, honestly, I never even came close to mastering it. The man is just such a big guitar nerd brain. Rest in peace. That it defies most people. It'll twist people's normal guitar players' minds into a pretzel. He's just so much beyond what normal guitar players would even attempt. Um, his fingerings, his chordings, his hand stretch, the actual, the width of what he could do on a fingerboard was just remarkable. And again, that's why guitar players like Eddie Van Halen and Steve Vai and Eric Johnson and others just bow to the man. They just would sit there and just be like, I'm not going up after that. I can't beat that. I can't do better than that. They jam with him. Sure. Eddie Van Halen jammed with him. I think Eddie produced one of his albums. Might have even actually been Metal Fatigue. I'd have to research that a little bit more. But he was just, affectionately, I would call him a guitar player's guitar player. Way out there. And so again, you shredder metal fans, the guys who look at people like John Petrucci and the guys in, I don't know, animals as leaders or whatever. You're thinking, guitar players like Tosin Abasi and others are just the greatest thing, Guthrie Govan, the greatest thing ever. It's like, well, they all would bow to Allan Holdsworth. Swear to God, they all would. And but again, he kind of lived a life of obscurity. Did not die a wealthy man. Sadly passed away, and I want to say several musicians contributed to paying for the costs of his funeral and what have you. Um, Again, he was the guitar player's guitar player, the guitar legend's guitar legend. And, not a lot of people know about him, sadly. Again, his brain was just so far out there that most just could not comprehend what he was doing. It was not going to be music for the mainstream by any means. The closest he ever got to that, I think, was the band UK. And again, even that was out there. I mean, people who love King Crimson, or Yes, or Peter Gabriel era Genesis, the people who love prog rock would even find some of Holdsworth's music challenging, but it does not mean that the man wasn't a guitar genius. With that said, hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. And please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we can talk about it further should you wish. I got to find that book. It's around here somewhere. Again, if you're a guitar nerd and you really want to get into the deep weeds of playing the instrument, I urge you to seek it out, because it is. I'm actually surprised it's not mandatory reading or research for places like Musicians Institute and Berklee College of Music and Juilliard and what have you in the guitar category, because it is just next level, next level. With that said, I appreciate you all and I wish you all well. Take care.